to see about how the fertilization takes place. Before entering into the point of fertilization, we have to see there is one topic is given in a textbook which is known as artificial hybridization. This comes afterwards also in improvement of food resources, those areas also this technique comes. So this technique is very simple. That is, earlier in the last class we have studied about the pollination. So that is a natural method, but this artificial hybridization is 100 percentage artificial method. Artificial method means human hand is intervened inside that. So what is happening is, if it is a flower, for example the bisexual flower, if a person don't want that normal fertilization to takes place, so what they do is, scientists what they do, it's even the Mendel also did the same thing to study about the genetics, and he used the flower of pea plant. So we will discuss in the we will discuss about that in the genetics chapter. So what they will do is, if it is a bisexual flower, so they don't want a particular character, same similar characters to come in the upcoming generation. So what they will do is, they will remove the anther part from the bisexual flower by using a forceps. That particular technique is known as emasculation. And why they are doing this? In order to stop the self fertilization. And you can see the diagram there, a person is using uh, forceps to remove it. And if it is, and another one more thing they will do is, the female part, that is the stigma part, the carpal part, they will cover with plastic, so that no other pollen grains will come and stick there. And that particular process is known as bagging. So this is where this type of technique will be done if the flower is bisexual in nature. If it is a unisexual in nature, so they don't want to do that. They will simply cover the female part, and with the plastic bag, female part, that is a pistil part, they will cover, and they will put the pollen grains which they want to the stigma, and they will wait for the normal fertilization to take place. By this we will get a good hybrid super quality seeds and plants. So this is the one of the technique, and this technique is known as artificial hybridization. And next comes is the normal fertilization technique, and this particular diagram is not given in your textbook, how this pollen tubes are growing. And if you see this diagram, you can see that pollen grain is there, you can see the intine, you can see the exine, and you can see the tube nucleus, you can see the generative nucleus. And when these pollen grains come and fall on the stigma, that is the female part of the flower, after the self incompatibility, everything, after the plant has identified this or everything, after doing everything, the pollen tube started to grow. When this pollen tube is started to grow, this pollen tube growth, in some of the plants, if you see this, you can only one pollen tube will be produced. That means only one tube we can see at a time. If one pollen tube is growing, that particular pun is known as monocyphus. And if there is several pollen tubes, we will call it as polycyphus. And if you see this pollen tube, what is happening is, the pollen tube tip part of the pollen tube will grow, especially this area where I am highlighting, this tip area will be growing, and these area will be rich in cytoplasmic contents with large vacuoles, and callose partitions will be there. And here you can see that after entering into the stigma, what will happen is, this particular generative nucleus will undergo mitosis, and they produce sperm cells. Two sperm nuclei will be produced, and the two sperm nuclei and the tube nucleus will move through this stem, through this female part, and it will enter into the ovule through the micropyle end. So when they are moving down, when that means when the pollen tube is growing through the style part, we need they need the amount of calcium, they need a good amount of calcium is required there. If the calcium, cytosolic calcium concentration is not there, their pH will not be maintained properly. So since the calcium is present there, so the tip of that tube will be slightly acidic in nature. After that, the pollen tube will enter into the micropyle region, and it is not a thing that the pollen tube has to enter only through the micropyle region. Pollen tube can come in contact through the chelacal end also. And when these pollen tubes are growing, there should be something that has to guide this tube growth to the micropyle region, and the guiding part is done by the synergids. That means the synergids will secrete some chemicals. That chemicals will be recognized by the pollen tube tip, then it will grow. So if anything is moving like that or growing like that, we'll generally call it as chemotropism. That means movement of a part of an organism with respect to the chemicals, that we'll call it as chemotropism. So chemotropism will takes place inside that. So when they are entering, they will enter through the synergid part, penetrate to the micropyle end, penetrate through the synergids, and when they enter into the synergids, the tip of the pollen tube will burst open. This tip of the pollen tube will burst open. Once that pollen tube is burst open, what will happen is one nuclei, there are two nucleus, remember, one nuclei will go and fuse with the egg cell, and egg is N in condition, and it will give rise to zygote. And there is one more sperm nuclei is there. That particular nuclei will go and fuse with the secondary nucleus that is present to the middle, which is 2n in condition, and that secondary nucleus will become 3n in condition. This particular process of fertilization is known as double fertilization. That means there are two fertilization takes place, one with the egg and one with the sender nuclei, and this process is known as double fertilization. And this double fertilization process was first discovered by a scientist known as Navashin, and it is one of the most common process that takes place inside an angiosperm. I think your concept is clear. Two nuclei, one nuclei will fuse with the egg, another nuclei will fuse with the central nucleus. When it fuses with the egg is N in condition, sperm is N in condition, N plus N will become 2N. Middle nucleus 2N in condition plus N from the sperm, it will become 3N in condition. And where egg and the sperm nuclei fused, it will become a zygote. That zygote will later develop into an embryo. And middle, it will become 3N condition, it will become as an endosperm. That means a resort food material for the growing zygote and embryo. And this particular process is known as the double fertilization. This question is very, very much important, and it is asked many times in the CBSE examination point of view. The next thing that comes is this one, which is called as how it is developed into an embryo. So actually this is a post fertilization event. and form, that means after whatever is happening after fertilization, that means after the formation of zygote. Soon after the fertilization takes place, it will form a zygote. Once a zygote is formed, whatever it is taking place after that, it is considered as a post fertilization. Zygote from onwards is considered as a post fertilization event. So if you see here, there are three parts are there in the post fertilization event. We have to discuss. One is the formation of the embryo, endosperm, seed. These three parts we have to discuss. So now we will be discussing a part, that means how this embryo is formed, and there are different types of embryo is there, typical, that means two diagrams are given here. And next class we will discuss about the endosperm and seed. So if you see here in this diagram, the diagram is very clear. You can see that something different structures we can see there. So you must understand one thing, that this particular thing what they have drawn in this diagram, they have did in the experimental plants, and the plant which they are used to study this embryogenesis, it is Arabidopsis thaliana. This is a plant which is they have used, which is comes under the mustard family. So they use this, and after studying this, they have seen the embryogenesis in different parts, different plants, in monocot, dicot, like that. So if you see here, this particular, after the formation of zygote, after the formation of zygote, what will happen is, this particular zygote will undergo asymmetrical division. Asymmetrical division means there will be no proper cells will be formed in a symmetry, no counting, simply they will divide. And once they divide, they will form into a cell like this. After zygote, you can see that with two nucleus, like this one, two nucleated cell. You can see the zygote is a single nucleus, zygote is a single nucleated. This one now if you see has two nucleated, and these two nucleated, the basal one is that elongated part, and they are having large vacuoles, and the smallest one is known as the apical one. And after this, once it is formed, slowly they started to derive, slowly they started to divide. So the entire embryo will be formed from the small apical cell. That means this apical cell will undergo longitudinal division, and it will form into an 8-celled stage known as octate. 8-cell stage. That particular stage is not mentioned in between this. I will give you this in the next. I have not included in this time note also. Next time note I will give you the complete step. Octate cells, octate embryo, and this octate embryo, with then it will form into this globular embryo, and this globular embryo is somewhere around 9 to 12 cells will be there, somewhere it depends upon the plant. And this one 9 to 6, if you see here, and they have formed in the horizontal area to the micropyle region. So it will give a 6 cell stage known as the suspensor. This one is a suspensor, and that will attach to the vascular system of the plant in order to take the nutrients, and the basal part will be dividing into the quiescent center of the root apical meristem. Later it will divide into root apical meristem. And after forming this globular embryo, what will happen? These particular globular embryo will undergo 3 divisions. That means divisions in 3 stages. That means top level, bottom, and the middle. After that, it will form a torpedo shaped cell. That means like this it will form. That means globular embryo, it will form, divide into 3, and it will form a heart embryo shaped cell, sorry, not torpedo, heart shaped cell of embryo, heart shaped cell of embryo. Once this heart shaped cell of the embryo is formed, further it will divide and form a torpedo shaped cell, and the torpedo shaped cell will mature into an embryo having radicle, cotyledons and the pumule. So the radicle will be developing into the shoot part, and the pumules will be in the root part, and the cotyledons will be the covering. So if you see here in this diagram, they have given, this also is an important question, that means a typical dicot embryo, this one. So if you see here, for a dicot plant there will be two cotyledons. Whatever the region that is coming to the below the cotyledons is known as hypocotyle, and there will be a radicle, and the radicle will be covered with a root cap, which will future develop into a root, and the pumules will develop into shoot. And if you see here in the monocot plant, there is a small difference. If you see this monocot plants will be having a coleorhiza, that means they also will be having a radicle, they also will be having a root cap. Apart from that radicle and root cap, there will be a fresh green covering of leaf, which is known as coleorhiza, and they will be also having a coleoptile shoot apex, which will be developed into shoot, and the coleoptile will further develop into hypocotyle in the growth of the plant. From there the root will go up, from the shoot apex the shoot will go up, and from the root part the root started to grow. So these are the main thing that is taking place inside the embryogenesis. So this is a very important question, and the most important one is this one, zygote will be divided into two. After the division it will form into a globular embryo. This globular embryo, further they will be having three parts, and these three parts will again divide into mitotically, and it will form into the heart-shaped embryo, and this heart-shaped embryo will further mature into a cotyledon, that means two cotyledons, pumules and radicles, and it will undergo dormancy until a favorite condition comes, from where a new plant will be formed. And next class we will discuss about seed and endosperm. If there is any doubt or any mistakes I have did in between, please respond to me by putting some comments under wherever the video is posted. So I want to know your feedback. Thank you.